Hey everybody, it's Mr. N, and this is part 7 in our quick reviews for the 2024 test. Let's take a look at this first one, this multiple choice one. It says we are required to use a calculator and we are given y equals x to the cosine 4x, and we need to find dy dx. All right, so this one is a little bit tricky. So we can tackle this in two different ways. We could do this with a substitution method, and if we did use a substitution method, what we would need to do is y, in this case, would be equal to e cosine 4x to the ln x. And basically, I am just rewriting this using an e and putting an ln right there. So if we continue in this manner, we would need to let u equal the cosine 4x ln x, and then from there we can go ahead and proceed to find du, and then we would end up with y equaling e to the u and continue on. But there is an easier route. We learned how to do logarithmic differentiation, and you could clearly do that on this one. It'll save you a lot of time and hassle. So since we have this, and I will go ahead and do this with the logarithmic differentiation method. Since we have y equaling this x cosine, x to the cosine 4x, what we can do is we can take the natural log of each side. So we get ln y equals ln of x to the cosine 4x. And this will come out in front. And we would have ln y equals the cosine 4x ln x. At this point, we can go ahead and differentiate this. So this would be 1 over y times dy dx equals, and here I would need to use the product rule, so I would get cosine 4x times 1 over x plus ln x, and this would be times negative sine 4x times 4. All right, so now let's finish this over here. It's just a matter of multiplying this to this side. So I would end up with dy dx equals y times this, and let's go ahead and rewrite this a bit to be 1 over x times the cosine 4x. And then this is going to end up being minus, and I'm just cleaning this up, to be 4 ln x sine x. And then substitute the y back in right there. And then when you compare these, you would end up with the answer being this one right here, because that would be the x cosine 4x and the rest of it. So the answer would be B in this case. All right, moving on to the second problem. It says, the function f is given by that equation on that interval. Which of the following is a possible value of c guaranteed by MVT on 1 to 5? All right, so working this out, what we need to do here is we know that MVT tells us that the average will equal the instantaneous. The instantaneous is a derivative, and the average happens on an interval. So that would be the f of b minus f of a all over b minus a, while the instantaneous would be f prime. And in this case, if I take the derivative of f prime of x, I would get 6x squared, and I would need this to happen at c because they want the value of c, so this would be 6c squared. So this would equal 6c squared. So now let's put in the values for a and b. This is our a, there's our b on the interval, and I'm going to put them into the equation right there. So that would give me 5 to the third times the 2, so that would be 250 minus 1 to the third times 2 minus the 5. So this would be 250 minus 5, and then this would be minus the 2 minus the 5 all over, and this would be 5 minus 1 equals 6c squared. All right, working this out, on the left-hand side, I will get 62 equals 6c squared. Solving for c, I would get plus or minus 3.215, but I only need the positive because the interval is from 1 to 5 that we're looking at. It's actually on the open interval. And so then the only answer would be C equals 3.215, which would be B again. All right, moving on to that third problem. And here it says a balloon is inflating at this rate in cubic inches per second, and T is the number of seconds that the balloon has been inflating. If the initial volume of the balloon is 100, what is the volume of the balloon after it has been inflating for 8 seconds, and round to the nearest 10 cubic inches? All right, so they give us an initial value. So V of 0 is equal to 100. So that's kind of important after we do this. But since this is a rate, dV dt here is a rate of the volume. If we want to know the total, we would need to integrate this rate. So we would need the integral, and they said after 8 seconds, from 0 to 8 of 300 minus t ln t dt. And since this is calculator based, we will put this in our calculators. And after we put this in our calculators, we will get an answer of 2349.46. But we have an initial of 100, which would give us a total volume of 2449.46, and they want us to round to 10, so this would be 2450, which would be the answer of D. All right, so these are 3 quick problems. These are problems that could most likely be put on the multiple choice. Hopefully you understand them, and I'll see you guys in the next video.